Welcome back to the channel. Kendrick Lamar sat down with Apple. I think it's Apple Music. They're the ones that sponsoring the Super Bowl halftime show. So he got an interview. K. Dot don't do a lot of interviews, but we got an interview. So we're gonna watch it together. Check it out. You know, let's break it down. K. Dot doing an interview for the Super Bowl. So let's see where it goes.
How you doing?
If it's your first time here, I appreciate you coming through. Support the channel. Just hit the like button. I appreciate it. Leave all your comments down there, good or bad. I want to hear it. So let's do this. Let's do this. Come on, Dot.
Doing?
You know, Kendrick, it's a little bit surreal to actually see you in the flesh because you've always made it a point of just letting the music speak for yourself, which is something I really respect. But the spotlight has been shining so bright the past few months. I've just been wondering how you've been processing behind the scenes, how you've been feeling about everything happening, all the success.
It's just really just I want to look at it like it's just a continuum of who I am. Really, I've always stayed to myself. I've always been in my own bubble, whether it's with the fam or whether it's training. How I process it all is just I continue to do what I was doing 10 years ago, and that's like be better in myself, better in the craft, and not look at it as bright lights, you know? And it may sound
Hey, yo, it's crazy. When you look at him, he looks so unbothered. He look at peace right there, don't he? Like he just relaxed, just nothing's bothering him. He look like he's just I guess that's what it feels like to be on top, right? You just, but you know what? That's hard work. Hard work paying off.
better in myself, better in the craft, and not look at it as bright lights, you know? And it may sound cliche, but it always worked for me. Even when I was younger, you know, playing sports or being in the forefront of presentations and stuff like that, it was like I gotta look at myself in the mirror rather than looking at it as a crowd or, you know, fame and attention.
So now, early days of your career, you know, Section 80 days, even early mixtapes, and you perfecting your craft as an MC. Did you ever think we'd be at the Super Bowl with this?
I wasn't thinking about no Super Bowl.
You never thought about the Super
I
Bowl
wasn't
with
thinking
this?
about no Super Bowl for sure. We was thinking about the best verse and how we gonna split this $5 at Church's Chicken or something like that. It wasn't no Super Bowl. Going to the studio and getting a meal. But I think what I know is
That's how you know he came through that real struggle right there. You know what I'm saying?
the passion I have now is still the passion I had then. And I think that carried on to the Super Bowl. So it was all about being present. As long as I was present in the studio and present in whatever that line was or whatever that mistake was, uh, rapping or doing hooks or choruses.
That's why they said the first part is just showing up. Showing up every day, become consistent. It's gonna pay off.
So whatnot, I was present in that moment. I felt that passion. I think being present and not actually foreseeing everything kept me in the grounded state of mind in order to be at, you know, big stages like this.
I think we felt that presence and that focus in your work for the past 15 years. Like Ebro said, going all the way back to projects like Overly Dedicated. And so seeing you perform with Dr. Dre at the halftime show 3 years ago, we already felt like that was the most hip hop, beautiful halftime show ever. And now for you to come back and be the first solo hip hop artist to headline, how does it feel being the artist to hit that milestone? And, you know, just your thoughts on what that means about hip hop's progression and impact over the years.
But that shit, it made me think about like the grind of it. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't see like the story before the glory, man. And that shit's like shuffling out your mixtapes and, you know, going to neighborhoods.
That's true now too, man. But you notice, like now, a lot of these artists today don't know what it's like to have mixtape. Everything's digital, so it ain't the same grind. But back in those days, you had to literally go around with your tape, put in the work, get somebody to go out there and put these tapes out, selling, people buy them. Then he went to CDs, and then, that was all before the digital time. Nowadays, kids, I could just upload something and it could probably get found. It ain't like back in the day where you literally had to buy a physical copy. You know,
Hoods and parties and performing there, hole in the wall spots. It reminds me of the essence and the core response of rap and hip hop and how far it can go. So for me, that should mean everything because it puts the culture on the forefront where it needs to be and not minimized to just a catchy song or verse. This is a true art form. So to represent it on this type of stage is like everything that I've worked for and everything that I believe in as far as the culture. Like I live and die by it. This shit done changed my whole family life. So I don't take it for
that's pretty much going after the TikTok rappers. Just a catchy beat, a catchy hook, and nobody know the rest of the song. Nobody know the rest of the song, and that's exactly what it is.
granted at all as far as an art form,
It feels like that was a lot what this year was about too, right? Like you, I guess you took it and put it on your back, and you felt like a line needed to be drawn, right? Was that you know was that your intent when you rolled out this year? Was like, yo, I'm drawing a line. Like this is what it is.
My intent was to always keep, I think from day one was to always keep the nature of it as a sport. I don't care how motherfuckers look at it as far as like uh as a collaborative effort, that's cool too. But I love when artists grit their teeth. Like I still watch battle raps. I still watch Smack URL from Murder Mook to Lux to Tay Rock, my bro Daylight. This has always been the core definition of who I am, and it's been that way since day one. So I don't think it was a thing for this year. It was always just a continuum. And what will say about this year, it was more from a space where I think a lot of people was putting rap to the back, and you didn't see that. You didn't see that grit. You didn't see that bite anymore. So
It's weird because it's like he realized that hip hop had to be saved. And if he didn't do what he did, we were going to lose hip hop. It was going down a real scary path. It came to the point where Drake infested it so bad that stuff was bleeding and hemorrhaging, where now K-Dot comes out and now we remember what real hip hop is, and Dochi's back out, and people, real artists are starting to surface. People with real pens are starting to surface. And like you see there, culture. Kendrick is culture. And he kept everything culture, and culture is what makes him so special. He knows how to read culture. Well, he's part of us too, we accept him.
and you didn't see that. You didn't see that grit. You didn't see that bite anymore. So I always took that in consideration in going into any type of my music.
That's interesting. So I hope this makes sense, right? We've been following your journey for about 15 years, and you have been so consistent in the messaging and the focus, like you said, and you've always moved with integrity. So in a lot of ways, I feel like we thought we knew exactly who you were as an artist in a positive way. And then last year, it felt like you unlocked a whole new dimension for us. But that person, like you said, was always in there. But I'm wondering, do you still surprise yourself sometimes? Did you surprise yourself last year, or was it just us, the fans, with our jaws on the floor, just stunned?
That's a good question. Surprised myself? Nah, I don't think I surprised myself because this for me and for my partners that's been around me since 2005, 2006, like my brothers, they know my personality. They know my capabilities. Even when it
I mean, all the true Kendrick fans know what Kendrick can do. We always sitting around was like, man, I hope Kendrick dropped, because we knew it was coming. If you follow Kendrick from back when he was with Black Hippie, go listen to that type of Kendrick. That Kendrick right there, you knew was going to be something special because he's just when he was with those guys, he was a different creator of music. He dude is special. Go check out Black Hippie Kendrick.
It, wasn't presented to the public at first, right? So this is just like a revolving door of what I've been doing in Carson Studios at the Homie Garage or my brothers at TDE or
That means he put in the work. They put in the work to get to this point. He had to put in the work. He just didn't walk in and just started spitting. No, he had to put in the work. He had to be a backup singer. He had to be a backup, carrying the stuff. I mean, he put in the work to become where he at, to write the songs, everything.
just anybody around the city of Compton in LA. It's just magnified to the level where I've progressed it and did enough hours to know, okay, I know where to place it now. I know how to make it connect with people.
It feels like each album too, getting to this point was like it was an album for the culture, and it was an album for the critics. You know what I mean? And then it was for the critics,
Yeah.
and then GNX comes along, and it's like, nah. This album for anybody, everybody, and anybody who want it at any time.
Facts.
And you brought that energy, and the energy you brought on GNX was an energy that I don't think was really happening in hip hop. Like it's a Public Enemy level energy. It's a Ice Cube, America's Most Wanted energy.
For sure.
Like it's a classic, timeless energy. Talk about your headspace between Mr. Morale and this GNX.
Yeah, no, that's great. Go back even further, man. Speaking on that energy, like it's my cousins was like DJ Quick, and Dre, these folks that my people was playing. So I always had that DNA. And you heard that DNA a little bit on Good Kid, Mad City, but I wanted to tell my story first, right? And fast forward to GNX, I felt it was just a perfect time because not only the energy was lost, but it was an energy that was bubbling inside of me as well. I wanted to go back to the forefront of just the bite and just the grit of rap, just all raps and hard ass beats. And that's like the basics for me. I thought about, damn, what I used to like when I was a kid.
Man, that's a dig at Drake and them right there. Hard rap with tough beats. I mean, now you ain't getting that no more. You're getting a lot of beat heavy with some lame raps on it. And they'd be like, oh, the junk is hard. No, that's TikTok, bro. 30 seconds. And they calling it a hit record. He knew what hip hop was missing. These guys sitting on the sidelines watching, and he's like, nah, I'm gonna make this and create this the way I want to.
That's like the basics for me. I thought about, damn, what I used to like when I was a kid. Hard raps, good beats, that's smacking, right?
Right.
And it was a great transition from Mr. Morale because that was my most intimate. I wanted to go inside of my own psyche and my own personal withdrawals. And
It was almost like he dropped Mr. Morale to set Drake up to get to this point. Like, you think K-Dot would do something like that? Yeah, I'm gonna feed him some information. So he set Mr. Drake up with Mr. Morale. Drake put his $600 million on the line because he heard Mr. Morale, and that cost him his career. Now Kendrick is gonna profit off of that. Allegedly, it's all alleged. Don't hold me on that. It's alleged.
and see how it connects with the public and who can relate. So during this time around, I think it was necessary of coming out of that cocoon and feeling like, okay, I arrived now. I can.
He definitely came out of his cocoon. Definitely, right? And I'm sure Drizzy wish he left him in there.
It was necessary of coming out of that cocoon and feeling like, okay, I arrived now. I can spread my wings and show every state of who I am as far as Kendrick Lamar.
And you really did spread your wings. I mean, you just came off a huge Grammy wins. You walked away with 5 awards, and you won Not Like Us won for Song and Record of the Year, which in itself is remarkable. But I think for people who love and respect hip hop and the roots of this culture, the competitive spirit of it, it has been a little bit mind bending that you created this massive cultural award winning anthem out of a battle rap song. And
Ooh, y'all heard what she said? You created an anthem of a song calling somebody a pedo, an anthem, PDF, an anthem. That's crazy, right?
how is that something after you got off that Grammy stage, you got home in some quiet time? What was going through your head?
I was just thinking about the culture, really. It's always that for me first. I'm not even bullshitting with you. It's like when people talk about rap, man, the conversations I hear, they think it's just rap and it's not an actual art form. So when you put records like that at the forefront, it reminds people that this is more than just something that came 50 years ago. They forget that it's even been here 50 years, right? And like kind of like belittle it. So I love to see that it gets that type of recognition for just straight raps.
Yo, and the other thing too that I noticed with Kendrick, like especially in the beef, all the samples he used was culturally connected to Afrocentricity. And it was songs that we heard from our parents and they heard it from their grandparents. They just used the same sample. And when you heard that the music, it resonated with you. That's what culture is. And Kendrick knows how to maneuver through culture. He's part of the culture. He helped create it, you know. So he understood his mission and what it was and what he had to do. Look at him. He just cool, chill, looked totally unbothered. Like,
Belittle it. So I love to see that it gets that type of recognition for just straight raps, from awards to the billboards, all that, because this is truly just as big as an art form and a genre as any other genre. So that's what I think about. And I feel accomplished being able to do that. You know, whether somebody else come behind me and do it again and quadruple it, I love to see it. If that was my purpose to do that, then that's exactly what it was for that particular moment.
I think people often miss the significance of that record and Song of the Year award because that Song of the Year award is a songwriter's award. Like, it's not just the biggest song, it's like someone wrote a
Exactly.
song. And you, as a songwriter, when you see your name up there and it's written by Kendrick, and that's it,
Yeah.
that's powerful.
did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear what he said? Song of the year, only the writer gets that. So he wrote the song by himself. There ain't a whole bunch of people up there like Drizzy have like 15 people that's helped created this song. No, it's one guy. And like I said, if it's one guy writing his own stuff, there's no he could put out 2 albums a year back to back. Impossible. I don't care who you are. Even Wayne compromised. I don't care who you are. But in order to create art that's going to last time, it takes time.
And I think to what you're saying, I think there's a lot of people who have become fans of hip hop, and they you like the songs you hear and know, but you're not actually tapped into the work that it takes for
Yeah.
you to generate
Yeah.
the output, the art.
Exactly, man. As a writer, and that's what I can appreciate the most. And knowing how much time I dedicated over the years in just trial and error, writing the most terrible shit to some of the greatest shit. We all do it from writer's block to figuring out how to.
It's crazy to hear him say that because when we hear music from Kendrick, we don't think that he put anything out that's bad or he's ever written anything that was bad, and it just goes to show you it's just like us here making videos. Anybody could make a bad video, and a lot of times they don't show you the bad ones. You only see the good ones. So the fact that he comes out and say that, it's like, okay, this is one of the best, probably the greatest to ever do it. And he even have bad days. So what does that tell you? Well, believe in yourself and you could do better. It starts within, right?
find inspiration from the most non-popular aspects around me. So it's like
Facts.
knowing that trial and knowing what I put in as far as my thinking process and what it takes to get there. I do not look at it as a small like endeavor because it's a hit record. No, it's actually some writing in that shit. You know, whether it connect with you on a spiritual level, whether it connect with you on a comedic level, whether it connect with you just on a personal dynamic, it's still from a writer's point of view.
Yeah, you are an incredible writer. There are songs on GNX like Reincarnated. I didn't know what to do with that song for the first few times I heard of it, just trying to figure out where you possibly came up with the inspiration for a record like that. Like when you're working on those songs, are you going through multiple versions until the right thing comes to you? It's hard to fathom, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, records like that. First off, shout out to Tupac. That's the number one inspiration. That was always one of my favorite records from him and Outlaws. With records like that, it's always going into my mind of like what if, right? And crafting out my what if ideas to the masses. So when I think about concepts and I think about what I actually believe and what I feel, I just go through a breakdown as if I'm reading a book, you know, and how I want people to hear this from a book sequence. So my initial process is okay, how can I open them up to the story? And how can I drive them to the ending point to make them feel truly exactly what I'm trying to convey, whether they take their own perspective from it or they take mine. I just want you to feel it first. You know, the writing is there. Now it's up to me to perform it to where you can feel it.
Now that's crazy, man, just to hear him say that, because you think about it, when you write in, you also have to put that energy into what you want the character to be. And it's just like when writers write a script, they basically tell the actor how they want it to come out. He's got to figure that out. So that's pretty good perspective to hear from within.
Yo, give it up for this guy, Kendrick Lamar. Y'all too quiet, man. This guy, this guy he doesn't sit down and do this too often. So there's a very...
It's crazy how it's so quiet and everybody's like tuned in. There's nobody, everybody just, because dude, you can see him. Look at him. He's just chilling, just like, I'm good, man. I'm good, man.
Special conversation. We appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
I really do. And shout to SZA too, because you guys are making history
man.
right now.
Hell
And,
yeah.
and you've seen her from her humble beginnings, like she's seen you from your humble beginnings. You've watched her find success, and now y'all sharing the stage at the Super Bowl. This humongous tour that's rolling out next year. Talk about this moment in both of y'all's career. Have you guys had a chance to even see each other in this moment and be like, yo, like...
We haven't even had a chance to crash out about it because everything been moving fast, like far as production and rehearsals and stuff. So we speak, but we haven't really got a chance to settle into the moment. For me personally, watching her, her career and where she's come from, it's amazing to see. I get to finally see how certain individuals see me come up in the process because I seen her day one coming in the studio and writing songs, throwing away songs, writing another song, throwing away songs. And songs is hard. And I understood that process though, wanting to be great. You know, even when people saying this is classic records, you're like, no, I'm gonna write another one. And I understood that, and I...
You think you ever seen Drake throw away a song? I'm sorry.
Seen it, so to see it now magnified is like she always had it, man. She always had it, and I'm just honored to be next to a talent.
Yeah, you've both worked really hard to be here in this moment. And on Heart Part 6 is really amazing to hear you detail that journey for old and new fans.
Yeah, that whole GNX album is heat right there. Next year, he gonna clean up at the Grammys with that the GNX album.
Coming up through the ranks at TDE and now launching your own.
I know we were speculating for a while that he may drop another album either before the Super Bowl or before he go on tour. Do y'all think that's still possible? Leave me a comment. Let me know down below.
Agency PG Lang. So performing at the Super Bowl halftime show is very much, us as fans getting to celebrate you and this beautiful musical legacy, but also now you're stepping out as an entrepreneur. What has it been like to build your own business and to also showcase some of that creativity from your agency on this platform?
Oh man, I love the process. Shout out to PG Lane. Make some noise with PG Lane. Yeah, that's
Easy Lane.
that's my team, man. It's 30 incredible individuals, uh, 5 extraordinary executives that work day in, day out to make sure we are doing something that will long live the culture. You know, from a music standpoint, from a creative standpoint, fashion, film, books, day in, day out of just being around like-minded individuals
The tight crew right there. They're all pretty tight.
that have different perspectives outside of just music. So through that process, it was a challenge for me, but even more a process of me enjoying, okay, different ideas and different backgrounds and how to look at things. Um, I love it. I love it. Being on calls and formulating business ideas and ventures outside of my usual norm, it challenges me, and I can't wait to see what happens next. I know it's gonna happen next. Yeah.
We
I,
can.
I think for the audience too, and anybody watching around the world, the PG Lang thing is, I think people see you as an artist and someone who makes music, but I don't know if you want to share it today, but the level of detail that you yourself, along with Dave and shout to the whole PG Lang team, but y'all as friends that came up together, you in the edits. Like what we're gonna see on Sunday is a PG Lang production.
Yes, that's all PG Lane. That is us sitting day in, day out, from the edits, the production, uh, the
Just from looking at his videos and the videos they put together, I can only imagine what the Super Bowl shows, halftime show is gonna be like. It's gonna be a lot going on. He does always put on pretty good stage performance. So I think they're gonna knock it out the park. They're gonna knock it way out the park.
stage design, the music, the sound tech. It's everything across the board, and it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of creative individuals. I can't sit here and say it's all me, because these are people that are just as passionate and want to see us win, but also want to put out something that lives a long, long time. And with with Dave's creative mind, it's just he's insane, man. That dude is like Basquiat in so many different fashions. You can clearly pick
Isn't that who Jay-Z's trying to be like? Right?
his brain about anything, and he'll give you an answer right down the middle to help you decide for yourself. So that's something I can always appreciate.
Yeah, I'd say with all of your powers combined, y'all are really diabolical. Like when you roll out the videos, all the visuals for GNX, just the way you all move strategically together, it is inspiring beyond the music. Just thinking about how to approach life and art in a holistic way. And so when it came down to planning for this Super Bowl now, you've teased on the album coming up to New Orleans with this LA energy. How did you guys approach the show and trying to figure out how to pay tribute to the classics in your catalog with this new music in like a 13-minute set list?
Yeah, it's wild. Miss Morale is like an hour and 30-minute tour, so it's like you gotta smack the shit down all the way to 13 minutes. It's kind of wild, and it's interesting because it lets you know kind of where you at, and your perspective on how you think about catalog and the music. For me, I love being present. I love being present, man. It's my favorite. It's very hard for me to live in the past. It's very hard. I respect the past wholeheartedly, but being in the now and being just locked into how I feel and the energy I have now, that's that's the LA energy for me. That's something that I want to carry over to New Orleans and for the world to see. This is me. This is Kendrick Lamar, 37 years old, and I still feel like I'm elevating. I'm still on the journey though. And I want that energy to ooze out into the televisions and to the people that's in that building.
Well, and
I wonder how much of GNX he's gonna perform. Because you think about that, he's talking about the whole Mr. Morale tour is like an hour and 40 minutes or 30 minutes long, but the Super Bowl performance is only 13 minutes. So he's got to shrink that down. And from if it's gonna be PG Lang, ain't gonna be no Wayne guest performance or nothing like that. I think it's going to be all PG Lang, all West Coast performance. And I hope it is. I really hope it is. I hope K-Dot put on what he wants to do and he doesn't get pushed into doing something else. But I'm real curious, you know, and if he's in the now, he's going to put out probably a lot of the new music. I think that's why it was important for him to drop that album when he did, to get it ready for the Super Bowl. You know, I wonder how many people heard that album so far.
And on that, you know, the connection between Black culture and New Orleans, and how important and shaping our ancestors were in this town, music, jazz, all that. You always put our culture and Black culture at the forefront of your brand, your music. Same thing in LA. A lot of our family members moved out to California from the South for new opportunities.
Man,
So
what?
there's a big connection between LA and the South. So when you say you walked in to New Orleans with that LA etiquette and all of that, I don't know if people really grasp that, but you got to be feeling that
That's a
energy
bar.
like when you are out ready on Sunday to do your thing.
That's a bar. It's crazy, bro. Out of all my friends, LA, us growing up, all our grandparents either from Louisiana, Texas, Chicago, like period. So our dialect and how we talk, it gauges from like the South and like the Bay Area. So
I think Kendrick
like going to the store, we say finna. I'm finna go to the store. Like that's some South shit, you know what I'm saying? That's not no LA, right? So that energy right there, and you know, making that correlation, it means a lot to me for people to understand that. And the culture and just being Black, I can't help that, man. It's just not something that I think about or even try to like go. I'm Black. It's just go.
It's in you. It's not on you.
Yeah, it's gonna come out every time. I can't sugarcoat it. You know, I can't downplay it. I'm at a point in my life I can't necessarily fake the funk for nothing. And
that's the thing, man. When you keep it real and everybody real with each other, that's all that come out, right?
I've always had an essence of that, but you know, you have kids and shit. That shit's like I have to be who I am authentically, and
Yep.
if you know the world can't accept that, then so
Can't
be it.
break the
But who
code.
rocking with it, I'm gonna put it all the way out there. You know, whether it's in private or whether it's on the main stage.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people and a lot of artists stand in themselves as authentically as you have. And I think one of the questions we've all been wrestling with over the past few months, watching you and the way you've moved, is really what is the role of an artist? And I think lots of people have very different definitions, but young Kendrick, again, back to overly dedicated and Section 80 mixtape Kendrick, and GNX Kendrick, Super Bowl Grammys Kendrick, has your idea of what the role of an artist is, you as an artist?
This is a very good question that she's asking, because it's something I've wondered and thought about, but I'm curious to hear his answer here. It's a very, very good question. Very good question.
Has that ever changed?
Um, I don't think I knew exactly what my role was early on. I had maybe clues of it, but now today I can truly say it's to express myself and express things that people can necessarily say on the daily and for them to actually relate to. And come from the most vulnerable place where people can actually feel it. I think that is, for me, that's the role for me as an artist. I don't give a fuck what place it come from. I could be the most angry person on the record. You go feel that shit that day if you woke up and you felt that. You want to.
That's true. If you perpetuate or propel that energy, and the right day you get up drinking that cup of coffee and you hitting the whatever, you're gonna feel that anger and you might take it out on something.
Smile, you gonna feel it because I'm gonna make sure I'm present that particular time in the studio, in the booth, that I feel happy and I feel energized and I feel, you know, if I feel frustrated, you're gonna feel it. And
Yeah.
to carry that as an inspiration for people that's listening that may not have a voice, that, you know, I've grew up with cats, still to this day can't have a conversation. The most meanest, you know,
Man, I know a few of those people, K Dot. You ain't lying. I'm sure everybody got a few of those type of people where it's like they grew up where they was like, oh, you boys or men shouldn't cry. And there's some people that just can't articulate what's finna happen. I know a few of them for real, dude. You ain't lying. For real.
Aggressive individuals, but they can't even look you in the eye and express themselves the way they want to. So they resort to other things. And when I think about that, and I know that I have the tools necessary to communicate myself properly and effectively, I got to do it for them. I got to make.
Yo, it's crazy he said that because I've thought about things like that because I know there are people that medically can't control themselves all the time when they need medication and different things just to function. And I've thought about stuff like that. I appreciate the fact that that's not me. You know what I'm saying? So to hear him say this, it kind of resonated with me a little bit because it's things that I've kind of thought about mentally for a while.
Records like properly and effectively, I got to do it for them. I got to make records like Reincarnated.
Ooh.
I got to make records like Man in the Garden. I have to because they feel that way, but they cannot project it. And
God damn, kid. Even in his interview, he's dropping nuggets. We're gonna go back and dissect this interview. Like right now, I'm just sitting down trying to listen because we haven't heard him talk for a while other than a record. But you hear him talk right here, it's kind of like he's spitting. He's educating us right here. Come on, Doc.
when they hear somebody actually giving them affirmations, it allows them to speak more freely and be open because, again, I come from the same place they come from.
Wow, Kendrick, we might not see you outside again soon after Super Bowl. I know, of course, you have the GNX tour. Listen, I know you also don't love doing interviews.
Man, K-Dot, it's no way you can go back in the house, man. You guys stay outside for at least another year and a half. Ain't time for going back inside. At least build a house where you can look out the top like Rapunzel or something and just scream from the top. But don't go back in the house and lock the door. Nah, man. We can't. I don't think you can do that to us.
But we are grateful. We're so grateful for all the music and the moments that you've given us over 15 years. And in the last year, your presence and your focus, it is noted. So thank you. We really appreciate it. Thanks for taking our
Thanks for
questions.
fighting for hip hop, man.
Oh, for sure.
Thank you for fighting for hip hop.
It is really appreciated.
y'all.
And now, we do have some questions
kids that are gonna ask
from our
questions.
kid
But I got one more thing for you, Kendrick. Before we go to our friend here, Hayes Adler. What should people expect to see and understand about Sunday's performance?
Storytelling. I think I've always been very open about storytelling through all my catalog and my history of music, and I've always had a passion about bringing that on whatever stage I'm on. You know, whether it's a war tour or whether it's 500 people at Key Club. I've always had a form of that. So I like to be on that sense of, make people listen, but also see and think a little.
I think this is going to be one of those performances where people are going to be digging up Easter eggs for years.
It's pretty cool, man. Like I said, the way they make those little cubes and they put all the meaning inside the cube, we all gonna be looking for it.
Years to come, right?
Even when it's not an Easter egg, people gonna make one up, right, Ken?
Mm-hmm.
Hayes, this is Hayes Adler. He's got a question for you,
What's up,
Kendrick.
man?
Hi, Kendrick.
What's going on?
How do you prepare for such a big performance? Do you have a favorite way to stay healthy and active?
Yeah. I do some laps, whether it's some sprints. If we talking about, let's go from, on a physical level, I give you that. Maybe it's a 2-mile warm up or a mile warm up, maybe some push-ups, just to get the body moving.
Push-ups. Those some push-ups. Okay.
Movement. Sometimes you be out on that stage, man, and you need some oil on your knees a little bit to get moving and get cranky. So physically, I'm just exercising the body, a little bit of stretching, a little bit of all that. And on a mental level, I'm usually playing some Isley Brothers just to calm not my nerves, but calm my excitement and just give it a balance, So that's my prep right before I go out.
Thank you, Hank.
Do run a couple miles. Isley Brothers, why not? I mean, you look at when you do a show, you burn a lot of calories, so you definitely got to stay in shape because that's kind of what it is. You running around back and forth, breathing. Because, like even when he came out there and performed Euphoria at the pop out, that was some amazing breath control. Because you know how Euphoria is. It's one of these.
Yes, thank you so much. And now Alvin Williams. How you doing, sir?
What's up, Kendrick?
What's up, man?
I'm a little with Big Brother and Big Sister New Orleans. What has mentorship meant to you during the course of your career? And if you could thank your mentors for believing in you, what would you say?
Oh man, mentorship has been everything. Um, to be around individuals that experienced every little thing that you think that you're the first person to go through it with it's a difficult task when you're a young individual because you're like, shit, you don't know what you're talking about. But as you progress and you be like, damn, he or she was right, you begin to understand life a little bit better and not be so judgmental to people that have been here before you, right? Um, the greatest thing I would say mentors, a couple mentors that given me was like affirmation and to always give myself space to believe in who I am, even when I wasn't feeling it, right? You can accomplish so many small things or big things and you still can fall in a slump where you doubt yourself. And even though these mentors haven't seen the spaces and been in the places I've been in, it was always time to allow me to share exactly who I am or how they see me and what I'm capable to give to the world. And I think that goes a long way, from people in the highest places and the lowest places. We all need them.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alvin. And we have one more question from Young.
It's definitely always good to get a mentor. Mentors can help you in many different ways. No matter, I mean, even rich people have mentors. Everyone have mentors just there to help you or lead you in the right direction. And sometimes they can be a therapist as well.
Dylan.
What's up, Mr. Kendrick Lamar?
There you go.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
an
sir.
artist right there.
Yes, sir. It's a truly honor to meet you. And my question I have for you is, what advice could you give to kids about not being like anyone else? And how could they stay authentic while pursuing your path?
It's a great question.
Thank
Um, they said the number one thing people feel in a room, over love and over fear is being authentic. And this some my homegirl Ink actually, we was talking about this in the studio. She brought us in the studio. And I was like, damn, how many times I've been in a room where people felt you so intensely that it inspired them and it inspired the person next to them and inspired the people in their household. So
Damn.
how to stay authentic? Was that the question or?
That's crazy, right? To imagine that, right? Not only did they inspire you, but they inspire the people in your household. That mean you touch that person, pause, no diddy touch, but you touch their soul and spirit in a way that they had to share. They had to share that information. That's special.
You have to believe in yourself and have to know that it's only one you.
Always.
You and an amazing individual, unique. You a miracle. I wake up every day and I'm like, this shit is crazy. Not crazy from a standpoint of being a celebrity, crazy just life. It's just wild. When you really sit down and just think about it and just bug out on some wild it's wild. And to know that you are in this existence and in this world, visuals, only you have to know that you got to carry that authentic nature of allowing yourself to say, this is who I am. This is how people are going to see me and also going to respect me. And it's going to inspire people to have truth because when everyone's authentic, what comes out of that is true love. There's no boundaries. We don't have any courtship on judgment. We don't have any perception of uh, being able to ridicule anyone because You showing up as your true self, I'm showing up as my true self. And carrying that nature, it take you places. Appreciate
His
you.
answers are just as thoughtful as in the music. It's ridiculous. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Kendrick.
Appreciate you.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for the great Kendrick Lamar, please. Thank you so much.
That's pretty much where it ends. But like Kendrick was saying, you remember you're one-on-one, and sometimes people you doubt yourself, but you've never there's like people try to compare themselves to other people that failed in the past. But if you're one-on-one, no one like you have never done it before. Maybe people in your situation have, but not you. And just because they failed don't mean you are. But that was K Dot, always dropping knowledge, always making sure that he stays cultured and he does something positive whenever he enters your space, I should say. But let me know down in the comments how you feel about the video. K Dot, he's back outside. This is for Apple Music. Super Bowl is Sunday, and we all can't wait to see him perform and leave more goodies for us. Let me know what the favorite part of this interview was. Peapod Cove, right here's another video, and I'm going to see you all on the next one. Peace.